So hello everyone, hello and welcome. My name is Punit Bhatia and I'm going to be helping you with your privacy questions today in this Ask Me Anything session. As we get people admitted, maybe we'll take few more seconds. I know some of you have been waiting for about 7 or 8 minutes, but to allow everyone to join in, just take a couple of seconds. I think we have good audience today, good interaction, people from I see from chat, and myself from Brussels, somebody from Turkey, somebody from UAE, somebody from India, and somebody private messaged me. Also, someone is from Pakistan. So that's interesting. Wide variety of audience. And now I see something in private saying someone from the United Kingdom. That's even better. So it's good to have a global audience. So let's get started. First, a few administrative things. Do you hear me well? Type yes in the chat if you hear me well. Good, thank you so much. A few yeses. And if you see the screen with Ask Me Anything on the Ask Me Anything slide, then also type yes so that I'm certain that you are able to see what I want to show you, because that's important. If you're able to see that, just confirm that. Okay, yes. So that two yeses, thank you so much. And let's get started. Okay. So this is the Ask Me Anything session. You ask and I answer. It's as simple as that, and I help you grow your privacy career. First, just to warm up, do you have questions? Type yes in the chat if you have questions about privacy, of course. You may have other questions. Yes, yes, yes. That's very nice. So if you have questions, you are at the right place, because I'm going to do my best to answer your questions. And before I start, I must thank you for your trust. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time. I know in different parts of the world, it's not easy to take an hour and a half of your time, wherever you are, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, to take time and be here. So I really appreciate that. And I appreciate that you take time and put trust in me to help you grow your career. So thank you so much. The objective, as I said, is to answer your questions and to give you the clarity to further your privacy career. That's the objective. And our focus will be, yes, I'm setting the scene, I'm introducing, I'll continue to do that. Not ingoing now, ongoing now. Everyone is human, we make some mistakes. Some of you have sent me the questions yesterday. Everyone had the opportunity. And those who have sent me the questions, those questions would be answered first. Then I would also share with you, oops, who's this? So those of you who have sent me the questions, what's going on here? Okay, somebody's sharing their screen, it seems like. Why? Somebody's sharing their screen, so let me stop. How do I stop their screen? That's unusual, never happened to me that somebody else is sharing their screen. What do I have to do now? Don't know, really. It's Ioana sharing her phone screen. I hope it's not disrupting you, but let me see if I can. Yes, it'll allow me to take over from them. That's what we want. So I hope if there was any disturbance, that's taken care of. So I was talking about, I'll give you an opportunity to grow your career and work with me in a more elaborate setting. And then we will answer more questions from you. And finally, as is always the case, I always like to reward people. I always like to give back to people. So what we will do is we will have a lucky draw amongst all of you who are here, so that we can see that you are rewarded. So there'll be a lucky draw in the end. It'll be a gift worth 300 euros worth. So let's get started. Everyone ready? Everyone excited? Give me a yes in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. I see a few yeses, so that's always nice. So let's keep going. So to make the session effective, I request you to have some discipline, if I may call it. So put your device on mute. Like we had an incident, somebody was sharing their screen. Let me share my screen if possible today, and you can share your opinion and questions in chat window rather than sharing your screen or via voice. If you have a question, write it on the chat. Need be speak. When there are multiple questions, I will give priority to one person who has not asked a question yet. But that does not mean I will not answer your questions. I'm here to stay even after the session if you have questions. Then everyone who is here will get rewarded. That is exclusive because I like to help people and make them feel good. Respect everyone and be polite. So everyone has an opinion. Please be respectful and polite to them. If you're thinking about who am I, if you don't know about me, I'm Punit Bhatia. I help people in growing their privacy career, in getting compliance with privacy laws like GDPR and so on. I've written 3 books. I'm lucky to be having 2 of my books in top 10 and one of them on the top of GDPR books. I'm a host of Fit for Privacy podcast. I've worked with privacy professionals and business leaders in 30 plus countries. And yes, I'm certified in privacy. And if you want to contact me, engage@punitbhatia.com. These are the 2 books. There's a third one also, which I didn't have an image yet. Just help me understand who you are. And before that, I was talking about all this not to brag about me, but to assure you that you're in right space, right place, and I will help you with your questions. So nothing, it's not about me, it's about you, that you are with the right person and the right knowledge. It's not me, it's the knowledge that will help you. So I want to know which category you fit in. So if you are in category, I don't know, I think I want to start my privacy career, type 1 in the chat. If you think I know a little bit or I'm unsure, but I have questions, type 2. And if you say I know it all, but I like another person's perspective, then type 3. I want to see so that I use the language which is adaptive to the group and I don't use jargon. So type 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1. Okay, that's interesting. So some of you have typed 1 and okay, normally there's a good mix of 1, 2 and 3, but it's okay. So if we are in that, I'll help you still. Okay. So I was talking about helping people. So when I help people, some of them write things like this girl, she's working with me for privacy manager and privacy technologist course, which leads to CIPM and CAPT, we will talk about in a moment. And she's very happy and she calls me a privacy guru. So it feels good, but it's more important for you that you are the right person. Then yeah, somebody bought 5 of my books. So happy. It's, though I don't know what did they do with 5 books, but it gives a good feeling and it gives me assurance that you will be helped. And now answering some of the questions I received. So let's get started. Okay, somebody is saying 3, so that means they're knowledgeable and they have still questions. That's also always good. So some questions that I received these questions like, how do I become a DPO? I've been in business for banking industry for 15 years and now I want to grow my career in privacy. So these are the questions I've received. So what I've done is I put a few slides to answer all these questions. Then I come back to these questions and make sure that I give you a perspective, and then we get into your questions. So first and foremost, when people say I want to become a DPO, and most often when I talk to people, that's what they say. Well, DPO is one function, one role in privacy. There are many others. For example, there's the role of privacy consultant, analyst, or a researcher. When you're a consultant, analyst, or researcher, you're still contributing to privacy, and that's a relatively easy way to start. Then a privacy program manager or privacy project manager. So somebody who helps an organization orchestrate privacy, comply with privacy. And then there's a privacy officer, privacy auditor, or privacy expert who helps the DPO, who is in the team of DPO. And then comes the DPO or global data privacy officer or global privacy manager, and then chief privacy officer, head of data protection, or director data protection. The top layer is generally in American companies, but these are all the different roles or some of the different roles which exist in privacy. So don't think you only have to become a DPO. You can be anyone else as well. So I can't help if you think just DPO. I would suggest you look at other things. Another thing is people say, I'm asked about technology, I'm asked about security, I'm asked about cyber security. So data privacy is not about, so my team is asking me something, so let me help them. It happens sometimes. Sorry for that. So data privacy is not about cyber security, not about technology. There are a lot of other things about privacy. For example, it's about understanding risk for an organization. It's about understanding business. It's about understanding technology, communicating with staff, communicating with management, and communicating with the external entities in your organization. Now, that is also the data protection authorities. It's also about managing stakeholders because everyone has demands, everyone has needs, and also the customers are asking questions. And it's also about making sure that your company is compliant with privacy laws. And of course, all that is based on legal, based on law. In my opinion, you don't need to be an expert in everything. You need to be an expert in one thing and orchestrate around other things. So if you are a lawyer and you understand risk, business, technology, communication, stakeholders, and compliance, it's fine. But if you are a technologist and you understand other things, that's also fine. All you need to do is be able to understand other things and comprehend. Now, it's possible sometimes that you understand, are an expert in one thing and live with that. Like if you're in IT and helping IT and understand a bit of privacy, that's okay. But usually you need to understand all dimensions so that you can engage and interact with people, but you don't need to be a technology expert or a law expert. For example, I'm not a lawyer. I worked as a global privacy manager. I worked as a privacy and protection officer, and I worked as a global privacy manager, uh, privacy program manager as well. All in all, what I'm saying is you don't need a specific degree or anything by law. So, so you don't need any degree or any specific knowledge. What you need to know is understand law and understand all other dimensions. So that's the most important thing. And getting on with, so questions that were asked. How do I become a DPO? So if you want to become a DPO, the best way is that you do CIPPE and CIPM, or CIPP, whichever region you are in, and CIPM, and gain knowledge in from legal perspective and from risk and compliance perspective. Then which certification is good for me? That's a question that everyone asks, but I don't have a straight answer. I need to know which geography you are in, what is your objective, and then we can help you. How do I get certified? Yes, study for it. You need to study about 30 to 50 hours. You need to go for a course and then go for a certification. But before certification, practice. What would you guide me to take further steps to secure experience and grow in privacy field? So grow in privacy field. I'm in my mid-career, 15 years experience. In my role, I was always exposed to client data. That is a good thing, and done various uh, internal audits as a career progression. So I want to pursue a career in privacy. I've completed CIPPE and ISO 27000, and that's very good what you have done. The question is, what do you want to do in privacy? Do you want to be an expert? Do you want to manage privacy? Do you want to audit privacy? Or do you want to be a generalist? So that's something we will need to clarify. While applying for some positions, I have come across questions like technical. Well, if you're coming across people who are saying you need to be technology expert or cybersecurity expert, I think you're getting across to wrong people. So don't worry. There are people who think you need to be a cyber security or security expert or a technology expert. Yes, there are people, but those are not the organizations in which you want to go further, because those organizations, I think, even if you join, you'll have challenges in explaining them that privacy is an important function. So my recommendation is don't get disheartened by them, but understand you need to understand technology, you need to understand cybersecurity, but not no more. How should I address questions regarding career switch? Yeah, that's a very important question. I think I had a slide on that. Okay. I thought I had a slide. Anyhow, so what I can do is explain you how to manage if you're switching your career. So there's a philosophy I call is leverage, learn, and launch. So 3 L's: leverage, learn, and launch. If you are coming from any other domain, example IT, example customer management, example bankings and investment experience, so you have done something, and some of those things would fit into privacy. So you need to find out what you can leverage and have that ready to demonstrate that what you've done in last 10 years, 15 years is relevant and can be leveraged. So that's what you have to do. We do that often in with clients in career strategy calls, like in a set of 5 career calls, in which we identify what are the things to leverage, what are the elements to leverage, break out stories, learn you've done CIPE, you've done ISO 27001, maybe you want to do CIPM, and then you're leveraged and you have put the learning on top, and then you launch yourself, then you go to the right companies with apply for right roles, and then there's a greater chance of being successful. I hope I have answered the questions that were asked already. If there is any clarity that's needed by people who already asked questions, just put it in the chat. I won't name you for privacy reasons, but for those of you who asked questions, just say, yeah, if your questions are clear or you have more questions. I mean, you need clarifications on these questions. Everyone is silent in the chat. Okay, helpful. So that's good. There's another one saying helpful in private chat. So that's good to know. So moving on, in short, what I'm saying is you do not need to be coming from any specific background, IT or law. Every background you come from has an advantage, but you need to understand privacy from all aspects. That's very important. If you think I don't understand things from technology perspective, or I don't understand things from stakeholders perspective, or I don't want to communication, then there's a problem. But you don't have to degree in each and everything. You can choose any training program that provides you. When I recommend people to choose a training program, I recommend 3 things. That is, look for a program that gives you practical knowledge. Certification is good, but end of the day, you need to go out and demonstrate that you can do things. So look for practical knowledge. Another thing is, when you go for a course or you are in person being trained like now, you will have questions afterwards. You will have questions later on. And if you have questions later on, how do you answer them? So you need to have a mechanism in which the other person is kind of mentoring you, coaching you, as being available to you at a later stage, whichever way. Like when people work with me, I offer them coaching calls. There are 2 kinds, like in person, one-on-one, and the other ones in group setting. When they are in group setting, that means you have the opportunity to get questions answered, but there are other people. When it's one-on-one, then it's you and me. But find out an option, an opportunity in which people are there to help you. And then there are universities and other providers like IIPP, and choose a course. Certifications or degrees help, but you need ability to execute. So focus on ability to execute. And you have multiple career choices. Make your choices from a long-term perspective. People say, I want to be in privacy because it's hot. But what will you do 10 years from now? Or what will you do 20 years from now or 5 years from now? What's your next role? So have that clarity. And if you don't have that clarity, hire a mentor, hire a coach who will help you. And last but not least, start from where you are. Add skills and become relevant in the long term. Invest in your career. Take help from people if you need, but start your journey now. Don't think I need to do this. I will do a law degree and in 5 years I will start. No, you will start in 6 months or 9 months maximum. and you need to prepare a plan for that. So who has a question other than this? Who has a question? So if somebody has a question, type it in, because we still have about 5 minutes or maybe even 7 before I